I told you I wanted to talk about CM Punk because that's another one that we're all debating what he's going to do at WrestleMania. We know what he's going to do at the Elimination Chamber. He's going to be competing in the Elimination Chamber. And he has promised an Elimination Chamber victory. He said that that's going to be his match to win and that WrestleMania belongs to him. Now, he made the promise about winning the Royal Rumble, yes. But I think that not fulfilling that promise can be made up for if he were to win the Elimination Chamber. Basically, he's promising to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Post Drew McIntyre, and literally right after Drew. He was pointing at the WrestleMania sign before the WrestleMania sign was even there. The story of CM Punk, even with Seth Rollins there, has always been main eventing WrestleMania since he was done with Drew. And even before Drew, that was still, but it was really like, what are we doing after Drew McIntyre? CM Punk is telling his story of his journey to WrestleMania. And Seth Rollins stepped in to go like, no, I don't want you to main event WrestleMania because I hate you. But the whole rivalry, CM Punk said, I don't even care about you, Seth. I'm just trying to main event WrestleMania. And so now there's only one opportunity left, theoretically, right? CM Punk has to win the Elimination Chamber. And as he was talking about that promise to win the Elimination Chamber, he also talked about John Cena. And he talked about the fact that John Cena didn't have to qualify for this match. That John Cena just decided to step up while the rest of us had to win matches. John Cena just decided to step up and say, well, I think I've earned this, and step right into it. And he said, which I don't have a problem with. But I said, Punk, what do you mean you don't have a problem with it? If you don't have a problem with it, why did you bring it up? There are lots of things that people do that I don't have problems with. You know what happens? They go right out of my head. They go one ear out the other. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not even thinking about that. I mean, if I grabbed this microphone here and said, here's a podcast where I list all the things I don't have a problem with, first of all, we'd be here forever. Second of all, it'd be completely uninteresting because if I don't have a problem with it, I might not have an opinion about it. I don't believe this CM Punk doesn't have a problem with it. I think what's really interesting and what we could see play out as John Cena is now back in the WWE, that CM Punk is also back in, who could have ever saw that coming, is that CM Punk is back in the WWE at a much higher level than he was 11 years ago. That there is no longer a debate as to his potential, how big he can get, because he's gotten that big. CM Punk is as big a superstar as you can get in WWE. Whenever CM Punk is in a building, it's selling tickets. Whenever CM Punk is in a building, it's being advertised because it is a special occasion. CM Punk has evolved past main eventer and has reached attraction status. Oh, CM Punk's going to be there? I better make sure I'm there because who knows what's going to happen. CM Punk is an attraction. That's bigger than a main eventer. And even with CM Punk as an attraction, John Cena still comes into this Elimination Chamber match and proves that he's got just a little more power than CM Punk. CM Punk had to beat Sami Zayn to enter the Elimination Chamber match. John Cena went to a press conference and announced he'd be in it. This is 2011 all over again. When CM Punk sat cross-legged on that stage, he talked about the inequalities that he experienced. He talked about the favoritism that is shown towards John Cena and John Cena getting what he wants, as opposed to CM Punk, who has to work 10 times harder to get the exact same thing. And after all these years, after everything that CM Punk has accomplished, after coming back into the WWE, after proving everybody wrong and showcasing that not only can he be somebody that's a team player, but he can also still execute on some of the best matches of the year, that he still has to deal with the fact that John Cena gets preferable treatment. And there is no way that this CM Punk character can sit there and say, I don't have a problem with that, because yes, you do, because you told us before that you did, and I don't think that that ever changed. That it's just the levels of where we're at in favoritism are rising and rising and rising. And they're both rising, but I think that there's a real conundrum happening. I think that there's going to be real tension between CM Punk and John Cena, and we're going to see some of it inside the chamber. We're going to see them put hands on each other, but I think that's something that's going to play out through the year. And it could be the thing that turns CM Punk into a villain. I don't know if anybody's going to want to boo John Cena in his final year. It could be, I mean, it's just very interesting to me. It's very, all these, sort of little things going on to me mean a lot because everything counts. It's rule number 1. Or no, 3. Watch the product is rule number 1. Speculate wildly is rule number 2. Everything counts is rule number 3. It's rule number 3. Everything counts. So that counts. Not CM Punk saying I don't have a problem with that counts. But Money in the Bank 2011 counts as well. So whatever, we go, and Logan Paul interrupts him. And CM Punk did not recognize Logan Paul's music. And apparently Pat McAfee also did not recognize Logan Paul's music. But Logan Paul comes out and talks about how he was disrespected. That CM Punk talked about Kevin Owens losing to Logan Paul as if it was a bad thing, but then Logan Paul eliminated CM Punk from the Royal Rumble. So now we're seeing this tension play out between CM Punk and Logan Paul. And I'm looking forward to seeing CM Punk and Logan Paul put hands on each other at the Elimination Chamber. I think at some point we'll get a great CM Punk-Logan Paul match. That time is not now. I'm going to have to do another podcast about who Logan Paul may be fighting at WrestleMania because I have, right now, no clue. However, I don't think CM Punk is winning the Elimination Chamber match. I don't think Seth Rollins is going to let it happen. Whether he beats Finn Balor or not, as I said earlier, I don't think Seth Rollins is going to let CM Punk win the Elimination Chamber match. I also wonder whether or not we'll see Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber show. We know he won't be in the Chamber match, but you saw his face. Roman Reigns, you have to understand, Roman Reigns is a victim of absolute trauma. Everywhere Roman Reigns goes, he gets betrayed. Roman Reigns built the Shield with his brothers, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. And what did Seth Rollins do? He turned on Roman Reigns. He destroyed this thing. His brother, Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns creates the bloodline, welcomes Sami Zayn into his own family. And what does Sami Zayn do? He turns on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns brought CM Punk in. He was uncomfortable with it because he'd been betrayed so much, but he allowed it to happen, and together they won the War Games match. And then at the Royal Rumble, as Roman Reigns is about to eliminate Seth Rollins, the same Seth Rollins who betrayed him in the Shield, the same Seth Rollins who is very responsible for Roman losing the WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes, he's about to eliminate him from the Rumble, and what does CM Punk do? He eliminates both of them. CM Punk then gets eliminated by Logan Paul, and when they're on the floor, Roman Reigns can't believe what's happened. Almost in a childlike fashion, stares at CM Punk and says, "How could you do that? We just teamed a month ago." And right there, before he gets stomped by Seth Rollins, you realize that Roman Reigns has been betrayed again. And CM Punk betraying Roman Reigns not only eliminated him from the Rumble, but left him vulnerable to that double stomp from Seth Rollins. Now, and I just don't think that can be allowed to happen. So maybe Roman Reigns stops it from happening. I could see not. I could see Roman Reigns not being there. What I think is CM Punk primarily is not winning the Elimination Chamber because we don't know what the favor is that is owed to CM Punk from Paul Heyman. I think if CM Punk wants to be in the main event of WrestleMania this year, he's going to have to use the favor that Paul Heyman promised him when he entered War Games alongside the Bloodline. And there have been lots of people speculating as to what this favor could be. When people see the idea of John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, they go, what if CM Punk were thrown into that match as a triple threat? What if that's the favor? How? What are you talking? How? How could that be the favor? Paul Heyman can't just make anything happen. Paul Heyman is not a magician. Paul Heyman is the wise man. But on screen, he's not booking the matches. Paul Heyman can't just go to Triple H and say, hey, I owe CM Punk a favor. Can you put him in that WWE Championship match main event of WrestleMania? Because Triple H could go like this. Yeah, no. What are you talking about? He lost in the chamber. No is the answer. If you're going to tell me what your theory is for the favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk, explain to me how Paul Heyman could get that done. That's all I ask. Because there are people who are, and I read they go like, well, what if this is the favor? I go, Paul Heyman couldn't do that. How could he just promise that? I mean, what are we talking about here? Now, what I think Paul Heyman could do, and what I think I think CM Punk's road to WrestleMania and the main event could be, I'm just thinking out loud here, is involving Roman Reigns. It would appear that Roman Reigns is not in either the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship match this year at WrestleMania. He lost in the Royal Rumble. He's not competing in the Elimination Chamber. So odds are he ain't getting a title match. That said, Roman Reigns main evented WrestleMania 31, 32, 33, 34, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Fair to say that at this point in his career, Roman Reigns may be going on last at WrestleMania. Title or not, Roman Reigns may be going on last. And I know usually we reserve the main event for the championship match, right? But you go back to WrestleMania 18. Is there anybody that thinks that Hogan and The Rock should not have main evented instead of the title match? Of course, Hogan and The Rock, in hindsight, should have main evented. If Hogan and Andre was not for the championship, it was just Hogan and Andre, it still should have main evented WrestleMania 3. It's rare, but I think, honestly, WrestleMania 13 should have been main evented by Austin versus Brett, but I don't think anybody realized how good it was going to be. It's fair to believe that Roman Reigns is going to get that main event spot at WrestleMania, whether there's a title on the line or not. And if you are willing to go with me on that, if you are willing to say, yes, Sam, you're right, it is fair to say that Roman Reigns is going to get that main event match. What if CM Punk uses his favor to get added to whatever match Roman Reigns has at WrestleMania? What if Roman Reigns comes back and he's the one that cost Seth Rollins from winning the Elimination Chamber, if Seth is even in it? And the match is made between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And what if CM Punk uses his favor to go, nope, I want in that match as well? What if we get to, and maybe it's not Seth Rollins, maybe it's somebody else, but what if we get to some kind of either Roman versus Punk straight up, because it could also be that. I don't care what Roman wants, Paul, I want the match. Roman versus Rollins versus Punk, Roman versus Punk could also be it. He goes, the Roman match is the main event. That's the match that I want. Compelling for two reasons. Number one, Paul Heyman can actually get it done. That could be the favor that he uses. Number two, if Paul Heyman gets CM Punk in that match, whose corner is Paul Heyman going to be in? And maybe that's why it doesn't even need to be a triple threat. As much as we're seeing Rollins and Punk going at it, if it's Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman at ringside, if the reason CM Punk is in that match is because he's cashed in the favor with Paul Heyman, and as he said to Roman Reigns' face, I was a Paul Heyman guy before you were. Whose corner will Paul Heyman be in between Roman Reigns and CM Punk? That, I would like. That is what I would like to be answered this year at WrestleMania for CM Punk.